Well, here we are. This is actually episode 2 of our podcast, The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. And we are so excited to have you, Mike. So Mike Ballard with Ballard Interiors and Walk On Me Flooring. And this is going to be a good one, you guys, because we have such an exciting guest who has one of the things actually that I really love about you, Mike, is your hustle and your drive to be the best and your ability to grind and just to want to be better. And I absolutely love and admire that.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Not to mention, you're just a great professional to work with. So we're excited to have you. So.
Wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
I love the name of your company. It's Walk On Me Flooring.
Walk On Me Flooring.
I love that.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
Prayer.
Oh, I love that.
For real. Like it was real prayer.
Yeah.
So this is my 15th business.
Okay.
And I'm big on names. To me, if you got a business, you got to have a good name. So I used to have a car dealership. It was called Buy Me Auto Sales. So I'm always trying to finagle and do.
Yep.
So I was just praying and saying, I need a name. And then Walk On Me Flooring popped in my head. I can't take credit for it because I'm smart, but I'm not that smart.
I love it. I love it.
So how did you get into the flooring business? Quite a bit different than selling cars.
Got in the business selling cars. I've did everything from selling cars to having a clothing line to carpet cleaning.
Well, you truly are an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah, I've done it all.
Right?
I've done it all. So I got into the flooring business because my father-in-law, at this time I was working at a call center. And he was saying, or at car dealership. I was at a car dealership. I was somewhere. But he was saying, if you want to make money and provide for your family, you should get into flooring. And I'm who I am. I said, okay, if that's going to make me some money, let me look into it. So I looked into it, and I ended up working for a company called Empire Today, a big flooring company out here.
Sure.
Every single commercial was them.
Absolutely.
So I ended up working for them for 6 months, and I learned a bit. Now, I didn't know anything about flooring, but I know how to sell. I know how to interact with people. So I learned how to sell the product, and then 4 months later, I started my own business. I went and got my license. I found where I could get material from. I found installers, and in November, I started had my first client.
Because I feel like you did a post about this. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but you talked about that very thing, about learning and training under someone and then going out and doing it yourself.
Yes.
Like an apprenticeship, mentorship, right?
Whatever it is, whatever you got to do. If you want to, there's no excuses for me. There's just no excuses. So again, to not know anything about flooring, nothing, and to be able to start your own company in that same year. And I was still selling cars at the time too. So I was selling cars and then selling flooring at the same time. And then when I started making more money selling the flooring than selling the cars, I was able to get out from selling the cars and do the flooring full time. But I was working I get up at 4 a.m. and I wouldn't go to sleep till 1 a.m. because I did all my own website. I did all my own graphics. I did all my own everything, my contracts, like all that stuff that had to be done. I did it myself because I didn't have the funds to be able to hire somebody else to do it. And that was another one of my business. I used to do websites. So
I love it.
So
can we pause on that for a second? Because I think that is such a key point, right? And by the way, this is my co-host, Randy Dix. Super excited to have you here, Dad. But I think that's a really important note when we get into a business, right? Learning the entire business. And so sometimes that means you're doing all of it in the beginning, right? Yeah. And then once you master it, then you can leverage it out.
Right.
But you need to know how to do all of that.
So I will say this, you're not going to know everything. You just need to know enough to get going because I really didn't know as much as I thought I did. And I learned from my guys. So as I started projects, I would say, why do we do this? Or why do we got to put the tile here? Or why this cut look like this? Or, oh, that's what we got to do for the toilet when we take it off. We got to do a wax ring. We got to, I learned as I went because I'm always a student, and even at one point, I even learned how to lay tile, and I was the grunt guy. Now, I'm the owner of the company.
Yep.
I'm paying you to do the work.
Yep.
And I'm mixing thin set for them and bringing them buckets of thin set. Here you go. What else you want me to do? I'm running over here because I didn't let ego stop me, because I knew this was the next phase for me, so I can go to the next level.
Yep.
A lot of people, they get to a certain place, they say, well, I'm too good for that.
Yep.
I've never, even right now, I don't let ego get in the way of me learning. I don't care where you are in the spectrum. If I can learn from you, I'm going to learn from you.
I love that, Mike.
So, Mike, tell me, you indicated your father-in-law encouraged you to get into this business. So you're married, you have kids?
I'm married, I have kids. I have 5 kids.
Oh, good for
3
you.
grandbabies.
Oh, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Now, have you lived your life in the East Valley, or are you?
No, I'm from Michigan,
Okay.
Detroit, born in Detroit, Michigan. I stayed there till I moved here when I was 19.
19?
19,
By
20?
yourself or with
no,
family?
my mom and dad.
Okay.
My mom and dad, my stepdad, and my mom moved out here.
Mm-hmm.
My mom hated Detroit, and he was from California, and she didn't want to move from California, so Arizona was the compromise.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So initially, I didn't want to come out here.
Okay.
So really what happened was I came out here in 96 and didn't like it, moved back in 97, then I came back in 98, then moved back in 99. And then when I came back in 2000, my brother was here, my cousins were here, I had some uncles here. So I had family here. At that,
Mm-hmm.
so then I was like, okay, let me give it a try. Now I love it. I'm never going back.
Right?
Yeah. So
It's a great area for opportunity, I think.
yes.
I've always felt that way.
that's why I got 15 businesses.
Right?
You know.
Beautiful.
Okay, so can you name all 15 of those businesses?
I'm gonna try to name all of them. I know. So, car dealership. I had a clothing line called Fogwear. It stood for Followers of God.
I love that.
Then I had a clothing store. Then I did websites. Then I cleaned carpet. I had a nonprofit organization called I See Greatness in You. I used to mentor group home boys. So we had a program that we did for a year at a group home where we mentored them. I still got a lot more. When I leave, I'm gonna remember everything.
Of course,
That's the norm, how that always is.
You're put on the spot, right?
Yeah, I was put on the spot, and I, you know what? And I go through this with myself all the time and say I need to write this down,
Yes.
so I can, because people ask me that all the time, but I can't. And it's some good stuff. I used to do. I had a record label.
Wow.
Then I used to produce. I used to make music. What else I used to do? I did some. I was thinking like, man, I can't believe I did that. One of the things I did.
That's like a wide variety,
Yeah,
right?
I went from I went from there to here,
Right.
and ended up doing flooring.
Right.
And
So do you think flooring is your life now? I mean, is that kind of the direction you're going to build?
right. So I have the flooring company, Walk On Me Flooring, and then I got my GC license about a year or two ago.
Okay.
Which is Ballard Interiors. Mm-hmm. So I kept going into houses, and people kept saying, "Do you do this? Do you do that?" And I got tired of hearing that. So once I got and then the whole process of getting the GC license was, again, I didn't know anything. I knew enough because I've been in the industry, but I had to get the license. So what I end up doing is I will wake up, whatever it is, the mornings work for me. Mm-hmm. So what I want to say to people is, whatever you're trying to do, you got to find what time works for you and dedicate that time to accomplishing your goal. So I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning for 30 days. I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, studied from 5 to 7. And then I took my test 30 days after that, and then I got my GC license.
Nice.
But I did that 30 days straight. Mm-hmm. Every day I was up 5 o'clock, 4:30. Really, I got up at 4:30 in the morning to study. So again, it goes back to what I was saying. There's enough time in the day to do whatever you want to do. Yep. You just have to have the grind and want to do it.
Desire,
and willing to sacrifice.
Right.
Yes. I sacrificed sleep because I knew I couldn't do it at the evening time. Kids come home from school. Right. Yep. That's family time.
Yes.
I couldn't do it at night. So I had to wake up in the morning.
Yes.
So I bet you taught your kids that ethic well, because they've lived it being around you, watching you do what you do, and they had to have picked up on that, right?
You know what? I think they'll pick up on it as they get older. Okay. Right now, they're spoiled.
Okay.
I got all girls.
Okay, so do I. I have 6 girls.
They're all spoiled. So as they get older, I think they'll really grab a hold of the concept. Right now, they have no reason. Now I'm going to say they don't have no reason, but everything is kind of given to them.
Yes.
So they're still young.
They're still young. Yes. Okay. Well, I have a 25-year-old, which I would say she's rolling it. I'm so proud of her. She's in Georgia. I have a 22-year-old. That's my son. Then I have a 13, 12, and a 6-year-old. So the 3 that's home, they haven't quite got it yet.
Yeah.
Oldest one, she got it. She's doing her thing. She's going to make it happen. Son, he's going to do his thing. He's going to make it happen. So. Beautiful. I
They
try my
may,
best.
though. You just don't know if they've caught on or not yet. 'Cause just the other day, my oldest, who's 17, senior in high school, one of her teachers said, "Did Elise tell you about the project she did?" And I said, "No, what project?" "She wrote about you as being her hero." And I was floored. I was like,
Wow.
"What? She never told me." So you never know.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
they're
sure
getting
they
it.
see
They see it. They have to see it because either you're going to see negative or you're going to see positive growing up as a kid. And you're going to soak it in whether you realize you're soaking it in or not. So they see how dad is and how much dad works and what dad does. Same with their mom. Their mom hardworking too. So they see that. So
did you grow up that way, Mike? Did you have parents that were hardworking and that's where you got your work ethic from?
So my mom raised me, and my mom was a hard worker. She went to school, she worked full time, and raised me. So I seen her grind, and I seen her sacrificing, and I seen all the things that she did in order for me to have any type of life. So that's who I say that's where I got it from her. So I got the hustle and the grind from my mother. And then when my stepdad came in, I was about 16, 17, he taught me about business. So that's where the business side came from. So I learned the hustle and grind from my mom, and then I learned the business portion, and I was able to put those two together.
That's awesome.
And then I've just been running ever since.
Okay, so 15 different businesses, and you span the spectrum of different businesses, right? I'm sure you've had a lot of wins and maybe some failures in there. When you look back at that, what do you see as some of those failures, and what did you learn from that? And I think the reason why I ask is I think that's one of the greatest ways we learn, right? Is through our failures, and sometimes it points us to something different. It lights something inside of us. So tell us about one of those.
Got you. I just remember another business.
Yes.
Club promoter.
Oh, God.
I had one of the biggest nightclubs out here in Arizona.
That's cool.
We had billboards and everything, me and my brother. So that was another one. I'm going to think of a couple more as we go.
Right.
Yes, they'll come out.
So I think one of the biggest failures I did was when we did the clothing line. We were young. We had an investor, one of my mentors, and we didn't understand the business enough, and we did things backwards. So we went out and bought a bunch of clothes first instead of getting samples and getting people to buy the clothes ahead of time. So what ended up happening is we ran out of money. So you go from having $250,000 worth of material, clothes, and all this stuff, and you on salary, my brother on salary, got a secretary, we got a store manager, we're traveling all around the country, taking my younger brother and my cousins so they can get the experience, and then everything just poof, it's gone, and then I'm making $8 an hour. It was humbling.
Yeah, right.
But when I look back on the person I was then, I wasn't a humble person. I was very prideful and thought I was more than what I was. And it taught me that failure, I don't even call it failure, I call it a lesson learned.
Yeah,
Those
right.
lessons, that lesson that I learned from that is how to always be humble. And that's why I'm the way I am now.
How old were you at that time?
I was 20.
Oh, so you're a real
I
young
was real
guy.
young. Because my brother had to be I'm 3 years older than him. I had to be 25.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of money. We got this big clothing line that was just as good as any other clothing line out there. We was in the malls. We was on TV, magazines, and we thought we let it get to us.
Yeah.
And when we lost it all, and I remember getting a job at a call center for $8 an hour, I cried.
Yeah.
I literally cried and was like, what happened? And then the guy, it's one of those in the movies, how they flashback of how I was and how I didn't listen when people tried to give me advice and say, well, maybe y'all shouldn't do it this way. No, we know what we're doing, and we really didn't know what we was doing. So that lesson taught me how to stay humble. So staying humble is the key. Stay humble and also really learn more about the business you get in before you start spending money on it. So one of the things I tell people now is I try to use other people's money.
I love that.
That's my thing. So, that was another business I did. I used to motivational speaking.
Oh, gosh.
I've done that too. I used to do a business seminar called Business 101.
I love it.
Where I taught people how to start
That's right.
business.
You posted about that.
Yes,
Yes.
I taught people. So I think we had 9 now. I remember the rest of them. Look at them. So one of the things that I've learned is how to use other people's money. And that's what made the flooring business or the remodeling business good for me, because you get a certain percentage down. So you never really have to come out of your own pocket to do the work. So I always try to find a way to, even when I had my car dealership, what I did was I knew somebody with a license, and they would buy the cars, because I only had a small lot. I only could fit 10 cars on there, and it was just sale. 4,000, 3,000 used cars. So they would get the cars, they would put it on my lot, and then we'd just split the profits. So all I just had to have is a location, and they supplied that. So over the years, I've learned how to master using other people's income so I can make money.
Yeah, that's a big part, right? In any business venture, especially as an entrepreneur, it's one thing to have the skill set to go out and do that, right? Whether it's sell cars, sell real estate, promote a clothing line, promote a club, right? That takes a set of skills, but there's a whole other side of it that's knowing the business. That's so important. And that can make or break you if you're not managing the business side well. So leaning into others, right? Using resources, finding someone that's done it before you and following in their footsteps. That's huge. Mentorship, apprenticeship, that's also huge in helping you to be successful.
Right.
I love that. I mean, I think too, my dad and I for sure relate to that, those failures and using them as learning opportunities. But I love, Mike, that you shared about just how that humbled you and it taught you how important humility was. And you also kind of sprinkled your faith in all of this. Tell us about your faith and why is that so important to you?
Faith, well, you know what? Faith is interesting to me right now. I'm in a interesting place. I know there is a God. And I know we were created, and I believe in him. I think what has happened over time is I've lost faith in man. And me losing faith in man, I don't attend church like I used to because of man. But I believe that you got to know that somebody did this. You know, we
it's
didn't
not by
just,
accident.
It's not by accident. And what I tell people is whatever you believe, pretty much every faith, religion, teaching, all has pretty much the same basis. Love, care, be honest, trustworthy, all those things. All the other stuff is, whatever man sprinkle in what they want to sprinkle in. So I just live by those rules. I be trustworthy. I'm reliable. I'm dependable. When it comes to my business, I don't think nobody can out customer service me. Even if there's an issue, because it's construction, nothing's perfect. I'm going to make sure it's resolved, it's taken care of.
I love that.
I just believe in integrity,
You said something, and I want to touch on this. And I think I would love to hear more about how you kind of run your business and what your philosophy is. But you said that, if something comes up, you'll address it. And I remember we worked together, had some, I don't want to say difficult clients, but maybe demanding, had high expectation clients. And they were kind of picky with certain things, and you never batted an eye. You were always like, let's take care of it, no problem, and willing to make it right and go the extra mile. I think that's huge because their stuff's going to come up, right? I mean, we work in real estate and we have transactions and things go wrong, appraisal comes in, whatever it may be. It's how you respond to it. Right? That makes all the difference. And I know I saw that personally in working with you.
Right. I think that's, well, so when I worked at other companies, I've seen some things. I was like, I don't like how they handle these things. And so there were some good things that happened and some not so good things that happened. So I just took the stuff that I liked, I took and used it. And the stuff I didn't like, I said, how can I not do that? I used that as a example to say, this is what I don't want to do. And I mean, people trusting you to come in their home and trusting you to be in there. Sometimes they're not there, and they're trusting you to do a good job and can do what you said you was going to do. And when things don't go the way they're supposed to go, I make sure I'm always available to rectify the situation. I think that's just important, whether it's I come out of my own pocket, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
You know, even so, I had two scenarios. I had one where we closed the deal. We was ready to start, and then I didn't hear from the customer. Now we got deposit and everything, $9,000, something like that. Every month I'm calling, what's going on? Nobody's answering, nobody's calling. A year later, the wife called and said, "Oh, my husband passed away."
Oh, no.
I said, well, I still have your money. I figured one day y'all call. I was just gonna hold it until, y'all called me. I still have it. So you ready to move forward? She said, yeah, we're gonna do this, do this. I said, okay.
Nice.
That happened to me twice.
Wow.
Another person, something happened. They had to get some work done, and I held their money for a year.
Wow.
So that's the type of person I am. Any other company say, well, it's been
Right.
a year.
Right.
We didn't think you was ever coming back. Your
Right.
money is gone.
Right.
You got to start from scratch. But I'm just big on integrity and just being different. And that's why I say nobody can out customer service me.
So,
Beautiful.
Mike, would you say that's your like secret to your success, or is there something else?
No, it's that. I'm me. I'm me. People. I'm a nice person. People like me. I'm a, I'm just. And people can see that. It's not a facade. It's not a front. This is me.
Yep.
Love me. If you, this is the thing about me. Either you love me or you hate me. There's no in between. It's not, maybe you either going to love me, I really like that guy, or, man, I can't stand him.
They should go watch your dancing video on social media, and then they'll really love you.
Hilarious.
Okay. Is there anything we didn't ask you that we should have? Because we have a rapid fire round that we are so excited to get to.
I'm good. I think that's good. I'm still thinking of how we met, Janine.
I
think somebody gave me your number at a house.
Maybe.
It had to be a referral.
Yeah.
I was at a customer and they said something. No, I can't. But I can barely remember my 15 businesses.
You're good. Okay. You ready for this?
Ready.
It's rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Let's go.
All right. Question 1. What famous actor would you want to play you in a movie?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Oh, man. You call it, that was real. I was supposed to be rapid fire, huh?
Yes.
Kevin Hart.
There we go. I love that. I see
Hilarious.
that.
Okay, number 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping secrets?
Oh, 10.
Nice.
I can keep secrets.
Nice.
Yeah. I ain't telling
All
nobody
right.
nothing.
If you could be any animal, what would it be?
Eagle.
Eagle.
Yes.
Love it.
So I can
Right? I
soar.
think I
Soaring
said
over?
that.
I don't know if we asked you that, Dad. I don't
Maybe you
think
didn't.
so.
Okay, how about this one? What have you received the most compliments for?
What have I received the most compliments for? Man, that's a good one. That's rapid fire again. What have I received the most compliments for? I look young.
There we go.
Yes.
I would
look
agree.
younger than what my age is.
You know,
Okay.
as a side note, it would probably be easier if you had these questions in advance.
No,
so
it's
you're
supposed to be-
because I get it, man. You put on the spot, you know.
Okay, how do you start your day? You kind of answered that earlier, but how do you start your day?
I start my day working out.
Love it.
It shows, obviously.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite cocktail?
You know what? I just got introduced to mezcal.
Oh, mezcal.
Mezcal. I just recently, when we went to Cabo, I've never had it before. The smoky taste on the
Yes.
tequila is amazing.
Now, do you have it with something, or is it shot?
Well,
Just
this is
a
the
shot?
first time
Okay.
my favorite cocktail is Maker's Mark and Coke.
Okay.
That's my favorite
Sure,
cocktail.
okay.
But over the vacation,
Yeah.
I got mezcal.
Yeah,
So I
that's your new
haven't
favorite.
mixed it with nothing. I was
Okay.
just drinking it straight.
Oh, got
and
it.
then
That's trouble.
chased it with a Coke. So
trouble.
I haven't figured out what
That's a
to
little
go
trouble.
with it. So.
All right, if you had to spend $10,000 in the next hour, what would you spend it on?
I don't know, man. That's a good one right there. What would you spend $10,000 on?
Right?
I don't know.
You have to. 10,000. You have to.
$10,000. If I had to spend $10,000 on something,
My dad said clothing.
Right.
I think that's the only thing you can
Right.
buy.
Right.
Clothing.
Go buy some clothes. Okay.
Might get a nice
Because you can
Rolex.
take it back if you don't like it.
Yeah,
If you gotta
I get a
spend it in an
Rolex.
hour,
There
right?
you go.
There you go.
Although
Rolex.
they are on
They've
like
been
way
moving-
back order right now. If
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
that's
that's what I
crazy.
do. Yeah.
Okay, what's your hobby?
My hobby is playing music, making music.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I love doing.
Super cool. What's the first thing you notice about someone when you meet them?
If I could trust them. I'm kind of keen on, you're going to be somebody I can't trust.
Ooh.
Or you're going to be somebody I can trust.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
Last one, Dad.
Okay, what advice would you give your younger self?
Keep going. Don't give up.
Yeah, right?
Don't give up. Just
Totally
keep.
agree.
You gonna get there. You know what? I'm glad I got here now than when I was there, because as I said, if I would have had the success that I have now with the clothing line, then I would be an a-hole right now.
Right.
You know, I'd
Right.
be terrible. But that, I would not change anything that I went through because that made me into who I am today.
100%.
So the younger me, I would say, just keep going. You're going to get there. I promise
Now,
you.
I added one
I love
more
that, Mike.
question that I said to them earlier that they should have asked me, which is, what's your favorite singer or band today?
Singer or band? Favorite band or singer, I would say, is Young Jeezy. For me, his music was in a time where I was going through a lot of different things, and it's kind of just helped me through the process.
Super cool.
Might not be the best type of music, but
Right?
it helped me through. It helped me through.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being
Well,
with us
thank you for
today.
having
This
me.
is awesome.
Yeah,
We
this
so
was nice. This
appreciate
was
it.
cool.
So Mike Ballard, Ballard Interiors, Walk On Me Flooring. Check him out. You can look you up. You want to give him your social
So
media?
it's Mike Mr. Home Improvement. That's that's Instagram, Mike Mr. Home Improvement. Then Facebook is Ballard Interiors, Walk On Me Flooring. Yeah, that's what it is.
Awesome.
That's all.
Well, thanks, guys.
Nice
thanks
to meet
for
you.
You too.
listening to our podcast, the second one, The Real Deal, where
The
real
Real
estate
Deal.
meets real life.
Yeah, I
do
like
it.
this.
Thank you.